In our continuing series of one-on-one interviews, News in Review, tonight Sophia Wanuna speaks to the National Assembly Majority Leader Aden Duale. Duale is dismissing charges that he has been a polarizing figure in the Jubilee administration. Duale also spoke about some of his most controversial moments in our excerpts of the interview, which will air at 10 p.m. on KTN News.
A government must have the face of Kenya. So it is not that because people who lost in election are not in that government, what is the parameter that you use for an all-inclusive government? The parameter that is used for forming an all-inclusive government is found in the Constitution.
What about the calls for dialogue, especially between the President and Raila Odinga?
I think there's nothing special between Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. There must be dialogue between the people of Kenya.
How does that happen?
And that happens within the institutions which are created by the Constitution. Institutions like Parliament, institutions like government, the President, in his daily duty, must meet all Kenyans, including the opposition, members of Parliament. Parliament must look at the law and to make sure in the budget allocation, they must make sure that that budget reflects the face of Kenya.
Right.
So the Constitution of Kenya 2010, and I've said it many times, have created solutions to the challenges and the problems the people of Kenya face.
Yeah.
Only that people don't want to use the Constitution in solving the many socio-economic, political problems we face.
But is there a conversation within the Jubilee Party around amendments to this Constitution? Coming around 7th year since it was promulgated, and many have proposed several changes. Is there a sense and a feeling that there are areas of this Constitution that should?
No, I think the legislature has a function of legislating as per their mandate in Article 94. So, and every day, Parliament deals with amendments. It faces with new laws, amendments, repealing of laws. And I'm sure as we go ahead in these 5 years, not only the laws that concerns the political class, we will look at economics, we'll look at the finance bill, we'll look at the environmental laws. So Parliament has an opportunity to look at that. But I think being a member of Parliament who participated in the constitution-making process, the people of Kenya must give chance and more time for us to nurture this constitution.
So it's not your time?
It's not a time.
It's not your time. All right. Let's talk about the Parliament. You have been leader of majority, the National Assembly, for the first term, and now to another. Yes. And a lot of criticism has come out in as far as the acrimonious nature some of the debates have degenerated, the divisions within the House. Do you think you executed your duties the best way possible, or do you think you are that polarizing figure that entrenched these issues even further?
I think, did I perform my work? I think that is for the people of Kenya and my colleagues in Parliament and the staff of Parliament.
How do you think you performed?
If you ask me, as the leader of government business, more than any other parliament in the history of Kenya, the last parliament has passed 185 pieces of legislation. Never in the history of Kenya. Even when Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka was the leader of government business, even when Amos Kimunya was the leader of government business, when Saitoti was the...
And some would say it's because of bulldozing around
let me finish.
The significance of the numbers you have.
Let me finish. In 2002, when I came to power, they had super numbers, tyranny of numbers. In the 10th parliament, which I served, there were no opposition to the grand coalition government. So everybody who was in parliament was government. So that in fact should have given government to have passed more bills. So the 11th parliament legislated 185, of which 151 were government bills that had my signature. For the first time under the new constitution, many people passed through Parliament, including the current Chief Justice, including the current ministers and holders of constitutional office. So from where I sit, it's because of the teamwork. Myself, the Speaker, my colleagues, members of Parliament, chairs of committees, the clerk's office, the staff, all of us together. I think the 11th Parliament did an excellent job.
Yeah.
We expect this parliament, the 12th parliament, where again I'm the leader of majority, courtesy of my party, to do more. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing for the people of Kenya is that parliament must legislate.
Yeah.
Were there low moments? Yes, in every parliament.
Which one was the lowest?
The lowest moment in my period is when the security laws, where members threw out the decorum and the respect, where the deputy speaker was splashed with water, and I think that was the lowest moment. But having studied parliamentary practice myself, there are other crazy scenarios that happen in more other developed democracies. Did I use the numbers to the advantage of the ruling coalition? That is a function of the office of the leader of majority. Parliament is the house of politics.
Yes.
And I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Last night, the U.S. Senate and House of Representatives, the Republicans used their numerical strength in dealing with the tax reform bill by President Trump.
Yes.
So it's not only in Kenya. Where you have the numbers, you use it for the betterment of that.
So an extension
citizens.
of the executive.
But at the end of the day, the opposition is supposed to oversight as an opposition.